There's a moment that happens with your baby that you've probably already lived 100 times without thinking twice about it. You walk into the room, and before you even say a word, your baby's whole body changes. Their feet kick a little faster, their hands open, their eyes lock onto yours with this look that almost seems too focused for someone so small. And then they do something specific, something they only do with you, and it lasts maybe 2 seconds before you've already moved on to the diaper or the bottle or whatever you came in to do. You missed it. Most parents miss it. And what you missed was your baby telling you in the only language they have that you are the person they love most in the entire world. I want to talk about 5 of these signals today because once you know what to look for, you will see them everywhere. They are happening in your house right now, probably in the next hour. Your baby has a vocabulary of love that they reserve almost exclusively for 1 or 2 specific people, and the science behind why this happens is more layered than most parents have ever been told. We're going to go through each one, what your baby's brain is actually doing in that moment, and why these tiny gestures matter so much more than they look like they should. If this is already making you think about your baby in a new way, hit the like button and subscribe, it really helps. And drop a comment telling me how old your little one is right now. I love knowing who I'm talking to. Before we get into the 5, there's something you need to understand about what's happening inside your baby's brain right now, because it changes how every one of these signals reads. In the first year of life, your baby's brain is building what developmental psychologists call an internal working model. That sounds technical, but the idea is simple. Every time you respond to your baby, every time you pick them up when they cry, every time your face shows up in their line of sight, your baby's brain is taking notes. It is building a detailed map of who you are, what you smell like, how you sound, how your hands feel when you're calm, how your hands feel when you're tired. By the time your baby is around 4 months old, that map of you is more vivid and more specific than the map they have of any other person in their life. The signals we're about to talk about, the things babies do only with the person they love most, are your baby reading from that map. They are telling you in real time that you are the person their nervous system has memorized. And here's the part that I think every parent needs to hear, especially if you've ever wondered whether your baby actually knows you. They know, long before they can say your name. Long before they can form a single word, your baby has built an internal portrait of you that is so detailed it shapes how their heart rate slows when you walk into a room. The 5 things we're about to cover are the proof of that portrait. They are the visible part of something invisible that has been growing between you for months. Now I want to address something first, because I know a lot of parents will be watching this and quietly wondering if their baby does these things with someone else more than with them. Maybe your baby reaches for your partner first. Maybe grandma is the one who gets the longest stares. Maybe you felt that small sting of watching your own baby settle faster in someone else's arms than yours. I want to say this clearly. Preference in babies is not rejection. It is not a verdict on how much your baby loves you. It is a measurement of which nervous system has been most consistently available to theirs. The good news is that this is not fixed. The signals we're going to talk about can show up with you, can grow with you, can deepen with you, no matter where you are in your baby's hierarchy of attachment right now. Every interaction you have is depositing into that map. So if you're watching this thinking, my baby doesn't really do these things with me, please stay with me, because the second half of this video is going to give you something specific you can do tonight. Most parents, when they see these 5 signals, miss them entirely. And it's not because they aren't paying attention. It's because they've been told, often without realizing it, that babies don't really show love until they're older. The smile gets celebrated, the first word gets recorded, the first hug gets posted. Everything else gets filed under cute or random or just baby stuff. So when your 3-month-old does the specific thing with their hand that they only do with you, it slips by. When your 7-month-old turns their head a particular way the moment they hear your voice from the other room, it doesn't register as significant. The cultural script we've been handed about babies treats most of their early communication as nonsense, charming nonsense, but nonsense. The science says something different. The science says your baby has been speaking a fluent emotional language since the day they were born, and the people they love most are receiving messages every single day that nobody has ever taught them how to read. That is what's about to change in the next 12 minutes. You are going to learn to read your baby, not in a way that requires you to study charts or memorize milestones, but in a way that simply opens your eyes to what is already in front of you. Once you see these 5 things, you will not be able to unsee them. And the next time your baby does one of them with you, something in your chest is going to lift, because you'll finally understand what they've been trying to tell you all along. The first thing your baby does, only with the person they love most, is so ordinary that you've almost certainly stopped seeing it. They stare at your mouth when you talk, not at your eyes, at your mouth. Babies between 2 and 6 months old do this with the specific people their brain has encoded as safe, as familiar, as home. They are not just watching you speak. They are studying the source of the sound they have known longer than they have known anything else. Your voice was the first thing your baby's brain mapped. Research from the Monell Chemical Senses Center found that babies begin building preference for their primary caregiver's voice from around the 25th week of gestation. They come out of the womb already leaning toward you. So when your baby fixes on your mouth with that particular intensity, that slightly parted, completely absorbed expression, they are doing something close to recognition. They are watching the thing that has always meant safety arrive again. Most parents read this as blank staring, the unfocused gaze of a brain not yet working properly. The opposite is true. That stare is one of the most focused things your baby's nervous system is capable of. It is their version of listening with their whole body. The second signal is harder to catch because it happens fast. When you enter a room, your baby's body moves before their face does. Their feet, their hands, their shoulders. Something tightens and then releases in the space between hearing you and seeing you. This is not a reflex. By around 3 to 4 months, your baby has enough of a neural map of you that the sound of your footstep, your specific weight on the floor, your particular way of moving through a doorway, triggers an anticipatory response in their nervous system. They are not reacting to you. They are preparing for you. The body moves first because the brain already knows what's coming, and what's coming feels good. Babies do this with the people their nervous system has encoded most vividly, which means if you see it happening with you, it means something specific. You have been imprinted. Your particular presence has its own signature in your baby's brain, and their body recognizes it before their eyes confirm it. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I upload new videos every week and I'd hate for you to miss one. Your support is what makes this channel possible, and it genuinely means the world to me. The third signal is the one that stops parents when I describe it, because they immediately know exactly what I'm talking about. Your baby reaches for your face. Not your hand, not your hair, not the interesting button on your shirt. Your face. They lift their arm with that slow, effortful concentration that costs a baby so much, and they place their palm or their fingers against your cheek or your jaw or your nose, and they hold it there. Sometimes they look at their own hand while they do it, sometimes they look straight into your eyes. Either way, what they are doing has a name in developmental neuroscience. It is called self-other mapping, and it is one of the earliest signs that your baby is beginning to understand that they are a separate person from you, and that the person they are separate from is someone they want to stay close to. The fourth signal is the one most parents have completely misread. Your baby cries harder when you leave the room than when a stranger does. If you have ever felt a complicated mix of guilt and exhaustion watching your baby escalate the moment you hand them off and walk away, I want you to hear this clearly. That escalation is not manipulation, it is not a behavior problem. It is one of the most neurologically sophisticated things your baby's brain is capable of at this stage of development. Around 7 to 9 months, something called object permanence begins to form. Your baby starts to understand, for the first time, that things and people exist even when they cannot be seen. Before this window, out of sight genuinely meant out of existence to your baby's brain. After it, your baby knows you are somewhere. They know you left, and they know the difference between you leaving and a stranger leaving, because their nervous system has a detailed, months-long record of what your presence feels like and what your absence costs them. The distress is calibrated to the relationship. The louder they cry for you specifically, the more clearly encoded you are in their attachment system. Parents almost always read this backward. They feel the crying as evidence that something is wrong, that they have somehow made their baby too dependent, too clingy, too attached. Developmental psychologist John Bowlby spent decades establishing that the opposite is true. A baby who protests the departure of their primary attachment figure is a baby whose attachment system is working exactly as it was designed to. The protest is the proof of the bond. The baby who cries hardest when you leave is the baby who loves you most completely. The fifth signal is the quietest one, and for that reason it is the one that gets missed most often. When your baby is distressed, truly dysregulated, not fussy but genuinely upset, and you hold them and they go still, that stillness is not just comfort, it is co-regulation. The term comes from the polyvagal theory developed by neuroscientist Stephen Porges, and it describes something specific. Your nervous system, when it is calm and regulated, communicates directly with your baby's nervous system through physical contact, through the rhythm of your breathing, through the steadiness of your heartbeat, through the warmth and lack of tension in your arms. Your baby's brain does not yet have the architecture to regulate its own stress response. That architecture won't be fully in place for years. What your baby does instead is borrow yours. They literally use your regulated nervous system as an external substitute for the one they haven't built yet. And the reason this only works the way it does with the person they love most is because co-regulation is most efficient between nervous systems that have the most shared history. Your baby's brain has been calibrating to you since before they were born. The speed at which they go still in your arms, the particular quality of the quiet that follows, that is not something they can replicate with someone they met last Tuesday. It is the output of months of accumulated attunement between two nervous systems that have been learning each other in real time. When your baby goes still in your arms, they are telling you something no words could carry. You are the place where my nervous system knows how to rest. Now go back to the moment I described at the very beginning of this video. You walk into the room. Your baby's feet kick faster. Their hands open. Their eyes find yours. You were about to move on to the next task without stopping, without seeing it for what it was. But now you know what it was. Every single piece of that moment, the feet, the hands, the eyes, had a name and a mechanism and a months-long history behind it. Your baby was not just being cute. They were running through a checklist their nervous system has been building since before they could see clearly. Is that the voice? Is that the smell? Is that the way those hands hold me? Yes. 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 That's them, and everything in them reach toward you in response. What you do with that moment matters more than most parenting advice will ever tell you. Not because you have to perform anything, or say the right thing, or follow a script, but because when you slow down and actually receive it, when you let your face go warm, and you hold their gaze for 3 extra seconds and you say something simple back to them, you are completing a circuit that has enormous consequences for who your baby is becoming. The research on secure attachment, accumulated over 6 decades beginning with Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth's foundational work with the strange situation experiments, shows that babies who experience consistent, responsive attunement with their primary caregiver develop measurably stronger emotional regulation, higher frustration tolerance, better social skills, and more stable relationships across their entire lives. Those outcomes do not come from the expensive toys or the enrichment classes or the developmental apps. They come from moments exactly like the one your baby just offered you at the door of their room, the moment you almost walked past. You are not going to be perfect at this. There will be days when you are too depleted to slow down. When you walk past the reaching hands because you have nothing left to give. When you put the baby down and walk out and feel something cave in your chest because you know they're crying and you just need 1 minute alone. Those days do not undo the map. The map is built from thousands of interactions, and one rough evening does not erase what hundreds of good mornings have written. What your baby needs from you is not perfection. It is enough. Consistent enough. Present enough. Warm enough on enough ordinary days that their nervous system can build its portrait of you as someone safe. You passed that bar a long time ago. You are already in the portrait. These 5 signals are the proof. Thank you so much for being here until the very end. It means everything. If this video changed how you see your baby even a little, please share it with another parent who needs to hear it. Check out the videos on your screen now. I think you'll love them. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.